Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young. Just setting up a couple things here. What was I looking for? Okay. So give everybody a chance to get up in here. So I'm going to wait for a little while. 42. Oops. There we go. Hope that's it. All right, there it goes. All right, welcome. Get on in here, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ Young. For those of you that are new to my channel, I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. And you're probably thinking, how do I do that? What's up, NC Biggs? You're probably wondering, how do I do that? How do I do that is I point out things. These are called glitches in the debt matrix. And the glitches in the debt matrix are things that don't make mathematical sense, yet people keep doing them. Okay, they just keep doing them. They don't even know why they're doing them. They're just doing them. I mean, they don't know why because everybody around them is doing the same thing that they're doing, so they believe it's normal, right? And those are people that believe in financing everything under the sun that goes down in value. And they don't even think twice about it. And then they wonder why they're still living paycheck to paycheck and they still can't figure out why they continue to finance things that go down in value. And they don't even, people in the debt matrix don't know, not only do they finance the product that goes down in value, guess what else they finance? They finance the taxes too. The taxes, what they know, people in the debt matrix logically understand that it's item plus tax, right? And the reason why they're not paying cash for the item is because they don't have any money. So if they don't have any money for the item, they don't have money for the taxes. So they're financing the taxes too. And they're wondering why they're living paycheck to paycheck. All right. So everything I say is justified with mathematics. Everything. I'm not just talking. Just in case you come over here and say, "Who are you? You don't have a finance degree. You never been in the finance game. You never worked at a bank, whatever." Right? Those people, right? For those of you that do that, I want you to understand the only thing I'm doing is using mathematics. So if my math is right, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter how you feel about it. So when I start this, I want to make sure this is clear before I start the topic of this video. For those of you that come over here and believe and watch me and think I'm saying a belief or something instead of a fact, this is what I want you to always remember. Always remember, but is my math right? If you have to say yes, I'm right. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. So whenever you start to think of challenging it or something or whatever, right? I want you to always listen for the word feel. Like if you say, I feel it should be this way. I feel it's a better way. I want you to listen to the word feel. And this is what it sounds like when you say that, okay? 1 + 1 = 2, correct? 1 + 1 is always 1 + 1 = 2. So if you lose your job and you feel bad about that, does 1 + 1 = 2 change? Does that change if you lose your job, break your leg, your kid need clothes for Christmas, or your kids need present for Christmas, 4th of July vacation? Does 1 + 1 continue to equal 2 no matter how you feel about it? Okay, that's very important. So I want you to catch yourself. Whenever you try to challenge whatever I'm saying, I want you to listen for that word feel. And I want you to understand that feelings, the way you feel about the numbers, the way you feel about the math doesn't make any difference. It doesn't change anything. Okay. All right. What's up, Quentin? You're very right, Quentin. I'm looking right at that sun too. I'm a sun person, man. I'm looking right out the window as I speak to you guys, and it's a beautiful sunny day, man. It's beautiful. Clear sky, everything. Beautiful. Well, anyway, we're going to get straight to let's get to the topic, okay? Now, If you one last thing, if you're new to my channel, I want you guys to, it's okay to start, you can comment. Nobody's gonna get all over you, make you feel bad for your question, even if you disagree. Long as you just disagree respectfully, it's cool. But you got to remember, if you disagree, you got to prove to me why mathematically, you got to mathematically prove to me why you disagree. You can't just say it, okay? You got to lay it out somehow. Okay. That's a very important part. You can't just say, hey, I make sure to hear the word feel. I feel, then you got to stop. As soon as you say the word feel out of your mouth, when you're putting it with mathematics, you got to stop right there and say, oh, that's wrong, because there's no feelings involved in mathematics. Okay. Now, the reason why I brought this up today, because I see this a lot, especially on Facebook. You'll see people, you will see people jump on Facebook, Instagram. Hey, we're homeowners, right? And it's like, when I see that, I'd be like, man, not if you got a mortgage. Not if you got a mortgage. Because first of all, no mortgage in the world, not even the best one in the United States of America, makes anyone a homeowner. None of them do. Not even the best one in the United States, whatever that is, whatever the best mortgage in the United States is, it still won't make you a homeowner. Okay. You're a loan owner. Now, FHA mortgages, right? People that accept FHA mortgages don't understand that the reason why they're accepting such a horrible loan is because they're in debt. Only people in debt would ever sign up for a loan like that, ever. Now, don't get me wrong. When you guys hear me say it's horrible, now remember, that's a feeling. Oh, FHA mortgages are horrible. That's how I feel about them. Okay. Oh, that's bad. That's a feeling. Okay. Now, business wise, is it a mathematical genius? Yes. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. This is what they did with FHA mortgages. They've made a self-sufficient people in debt that will never be, they won't accept that they cannot afford a home. These are the type of loans for you. If you got an FHA mortgage, that's because you're in debt. Okay. You're in debt. Only people in debt. But anyway, they made this self-sufficient. So this is how it works, right? It's insured by the federal housing. Let me see. I wrote these notes down. It's insured by the Federal Housing Administration. Okay. And this is a government entity. So the government is us, you, me, you, us. Okay. It's the government, right? And so a lot of people believe that the loan comes from the FHA place. No, the loan actually comes from banks. But the reason why the banks can loan it with no money down, bad credit, because it's insured. And it's insured by this self-sufficient of people that believe they are homeowners. They really they pay back the banks. They don't really know they do, but they do, right? But they don't understand why you can get in a house with just 3.5% down. Why is it so attractive to them? Because they're in debt. They're broke. That's why it's attractive. Oh, I don't have to put hardly any money down. I get to save more of my money. You're not saving anything. You're broke. You don't even have anything. That's why you're accepting an FHA mortgage. That's why. Now, with FHA mortgages, they have what's called PMI, private mortgage insurance, right? Now, if you ask, I guarantee you, if you ask over 50% of people with FHA mortgages, you ask them, hey, you know what PMI is? Guarantee you none of them will know. They won't even know what that is. Not have a clue. PMI insurance, it's insurance, so it's got to be for me. But other than that, outside the word, I know this is how the banks do it. Banks are good, man. They put the word insurance in there, right? People in debt will hear the word insurance, and so they will automatically assume that it's for them. Oh, insurance. Okay, right. Never really asking what's that mean. They don't know to ask that. Be, again, if you're signing up for a mortgage like that, you have no idea what that even means. I know you don't. Okay. So they actually got two with FHA mortgages. They have two PMIs, two, one up front and one through the life of the loan. Now, let me get back to, oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over what it's for. It's not insurance for you, it's insurance for the bank. You're high risk. So they have insurance, but guess who pays that insurance? You. You pay it. It is a brilliant I mean, when I'm thinking about it, when I'm thinking about it right now, it is a masterpiece. So since you're high risk, you pay this premium. You could look at PMI as pre-foreclosure insurance, right? This insurance pays back the bank. If you default, it pays back the bank, and then it pays for the whole process to kick you out of the house. So a lot of people in debt, they love to say things like this. Only people in debt say things like this. Hey man, if something happens, if I stop paying the mortgage, it's going to take me at least a year to get out of here. Don't you know don't you know that's already part of the plan? That's built in. That's already built in. How do you know? They made you sign at the very beginning. Anybody that signs for such a loan is high risk. So if you really believe you're staying in that house for a year, you already prepaid that for all the years you were in the house. You already paid for all the kicking out process, the sheriffs to come in and move out your furniture. You're not winning. You're not winning. I promise you, you're not winning. Now, some people are starting to check it out. Check this out. The banks are good. Listen, some people are starting to get used to hearing PMI. Ooh, PMI is bad. PMI is bad. PMI is bad, right? So the banks got hip. You know what they did? Now watch this. PMI, right? They took the P and then they jumped it over the M and I and then put it at the end, right? Now it's MIP. And it's the same thing. Hey, what's MIP? I don't know. People, now it's going to take another 10, 20 years for people that get FHA mortgages to figure out what MIP is, because this is the difference now. Now, if they change it to MIP, they can legally tell it. So if the person says, hey, man, do I have PMI? They can legally say, no, you don't have PMI. They can say that. Why? Because now it's MIP. That's why. The banks are good, man. The banks are good. That's a masterpiece. That is a masterpiece. So every bank that lends out money via FHA mortgage, if a collapse happens, guess what? If an economic crash happens, guess what? They get paid because it's insured. By who? You. Can you imagine how much money is stacked up in the MIP, PMI bank account somewhere? Oh my God, that's got to be like trillions of dollars. Trillions. Got to be trillions. Between the people that know what PMI is and to the people that don't even have a clue, that is trillions of dollars. Trillions. FHA mortgage holders right now, you are loan owners. The likelihood of you ever actually owning that home is 0 to none. 30 years, you sign up for a 30-year mortgage with all this PMI crap in it, right? And whatever is stuffed in it, whatever else is stuffed in that loan papers, because I guarantee you didn't read them. I guarantee it. That's 30 years if you don't ever refinance your house once. People talk about first and second mortgages, refinancing 2-3 times. Those people will never be homeowners, ever. Ever. Now let me get back to my notes too to make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, yeah, and also now you'll get these people. This is what I want you to understand this too, okay? Because People that are in debt, they really get confused by rent versus own. Rent, hey, you're just throwing your way of money on rent and this and that. I get it. When you don't understand money and you keep hearing that chitter chatter, that's people in debt talking to you. Because how you feel about what you should do is irrelevant. Look at your bank account. Your bank account will tell you if you can rent or you can own. Yeah, that's all you got to do is just say, "Hey, how much money I got in my account?" Oh, okay, that $0. Okay, I guess that means I have to rent because I sure don't have no money to buy. But people just hear this chitter chatter from people in debt. How you gonna get a house? A mortgage? Hey, man, that's the cheapest one. They don't. People in debt don't stop and say, "Man, wait a minute." When I tried for a conventional loan, they wanted over 20% to put down, but this loan, 3.5% for the same house. They don't never think, why is that? Why did something change here? The house is still the same. Why is that? Because you don't know about money. That's why. When you don't even know you're in debt, they know you don't understand how percentages really work. Now, don't get me wrong. I know you're thinking, oh, I can just punch them in my calculator. That's not what I'm talking about. You don't know how much, if you don't even know how much debt you're in, don't even worry about the stock market, percentages, house buying. Don't even talk about any of that. They do, man. FHA mortgages that's like gold, man. That's like printing money. That is just, whoo. Talk about a self-sufficient, well-oiled machine. That thing is FHA, that's printing money. That's printing money. The banks cannot lose giving out FHA mortgages. They cannot lose. That is economic crash proof. Anybody that default proof, it's guaranteed proof. Mm, mm, mm. Imagine how many people are walking around the United States calling themselves homeowners with an FHA mortgage. Now, this is how you tell the people. Now, that's what threw me off. Okay, this is how you tell the right. If you hear somebody say, "Hey, I'm a homeowner," this is how to tell if they did it right or wrong. Okay, without them knowing why you're asking. Okay, so and it won't be an odd question. It won't be so if you hear somebody around you or on Facebook or at work say, and they say, "Oh, we're homeowners," say, "Oh, wow, how much did you have to put down?" Because people in debt love to tell other people how much the house cost, like they pay cash for it or something. That makes absolutely no sense. No, your cost is over 30 years, but people in debt, I don't know, whatever, right? But anyway, this is what you do. They'll tell you the cost of the house. Say like it was 200,000. 200,000. 3.5% of 200,000 is 7,000. $7,000 on $200,000? $7,000. And now the majority of people don't even have that. Okay. The majority of people getting FHA mortgage don't even have $7,000 to put down on the house. Okay. Let alone over 20%. Right. Now, let me equate that to you so you can understand what that really is. Because when you're in debt, 200,000, 300,000, 7,000, 10,000, that sounds like a lot of money, but it's only a lot of money to you. Right. Now, let's bring it down ratio to ratio. Okay. Now, if you were selling some shoes or some kind, let's just say you were selling some kind of item and it was $200. And I said to you, "Hey, man, I can give you 3.5% down." You know how much that is? That's $7. Would you accept that? If somebody said, "Yeah, I want your item, but I'm going to put $7 down, which is 3.5%, would you? The first thing you would think is $7. You are broke. Exactly. Exactly. It's all how you see it. Let me get in here and answer some. I think you guys asking some questions here. What's up, Cosmic? What's up, Josh? Josh Quick says, I never attended university, afraid I was going to rack up debt like crazy. Instead, I did community college and I'm making money now. Exactly. And you did exactly right. And you know what's so crazy, Josh? You probably thought you were doing it wrong. Everybody was telling you, nah, man, you don't do it that way. Nah, man, you got to do this. And you fought against that. Thank God you did it. Because that's people in debt. They chitter chatter. Chip, 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 chip. That's all they talk. They just talk debt. But remember, Josh, they don't know they're talking like that. They don't know they're talking like that. Trina Jackson says, what is PMI? Private mortgage insurance. Just like Cosmic Wisdom says, it's not for you. It's, as the home buyer, it's for the bank. Banks like to pull strings on folks. Hey, Josh, even let me explain something to you, Josh, all right? Do not think, only people in the debt matrix thinks banks are pulling the wool over their eyes. Banks are tricking them. The banks they got so much money. They're just they're not doing anything. They're not doing, I promise you, they're not doing anything but making money. If you go up to a bank and you say, hey, bank, I want a loan from you. And then they say, okay, yeah, we'll give you a loan based on these terms. And then you just read the terms and do the numbers. You'd be like, oh my God, if I do that, I'll be paying double for that. Then you say, no, bank, no, thank you. That's it. They don't trick me. First, I don't go in there and get loans. But a second, even if I had to get a loan, I'm going to run through the numbers and see if it makes sense for me. There's no rush for anything. And then if they give me if they say, hey, these are our terms, I'll say, no, thank you. Let me try another bank. Trina Jackson says, we have to get bank loans because most people cannot afford to pay for a house in cash. Hey, Trina, if you believe you have to get a loan, I guess in your mind, you have to get a loan because you believe in your mind that if you get a loan, you're now a homeowner. See what I'm saying? You're still not a homeowner. You're a loan owner. You're not a homeowner. Yeah, the only way to buy a house is with your own money. Yes, that's true. That's the only way to buy a house, with your own money. If you don't have the money, that means you can't buy a house, period, right? But if you choose to say, well, a loan will do it, now you become a loan owner. You're not a homeowner. Getting a mortgage doesn't change the fact that getting a mortgage doesn't change the fact that you still couldn't afford the home. It doesn't change. It doesn't allow you to magically have money. They loan you money. Of course, a cosmic wisdom. You know what? And I'm glad you're saying that because you know who I'm here to show them that even exists, so they know to even take classes on that, right? People in the debt matrix, they don't know they should take a class to really understand the different type of mortgages. They're just believing everybody in the debt matrix saying, hey, this is how I got a house. This is how I got a house. And they're all getting on Facebook talking about their homeowners when they're not. Josh says, I know someone who bought a house and credit went down a lot. What's that about? I have no idea. First, Josh, you would have to know exactly how that person bought the house. Did the person buy the house while having 10, 15, 20-year-old student loans? That's a big difference. If you go buy a house, let me tell you something, you guys, so you can understand this. If you go buy a house and you have student loans that are older than your children, the banks are going to abuse you. They're going to financially abuse you because if you don't know that it doesn't make logical sense to go to college for 4 years and pay on your student loans for 20 years, you think you're going to pay off a house? No, you're not. So they're going to financially abuse you. That doesn't even make any sense. Why are you doing that? If the banks denied mortgages to people with student loans, the whole mortgage industry will collapse. Let me say that one more time. If they turned down people, if they found out a person, if they said anybody with 10, 20-year-old student loans, if you got a 10-year-old student loan, you cannot get a mortgage, the whole mortgage industry would collapse. The housing market would tank. We need people in the real estate industry believing that they're homeowners while having mortgages. That is important. That is very important. It doesn't matter if I say this out loud. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can walk up to a person with a mortgage and tell them right to their face they're not a homeowner. They will fight you. And then you got to think to yourself, why are they angry? Why are you angry? You know, I can prove what I'm saying with mathematics, right? They'll still fight you. Oh man, my name's here, my deeds, and the bank said this. The bank told me I was. That's what they're saying. When they talk all that stuff out of their mouth, they're saying to you, hey, the bank said if I sign these papers, they told me I was a homeowner, so I believe them, not you. All right, okay, hey, okay. But that's important. I'm not just the way, because I say that, don't think I believe the system is bad. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. It must be this way. This is how it must be. So FHA mortgages, that is a well-oiled machine. You got these people, I don't know if I said this already, but the house flippers, right? You got these people talking about, hey, yeah, I'm gonna use the FHA mortgage. There's business side, right? FHA, it's the same thing. People over here, they carry those same bad habits over to here. FHA mortgages are horrible, either side of the game, personal or business. Horrible. Okay, there's a reason why they do that. Okay, when you hear these house flippers talking about they're using FHA mortgages, this is what I want you to ask them. Okay, you ask them just like this: hey, was there a better loan out there than the one you have that you're using to flipping houses? Is there a better one? They have to tell you yes. And then I want you to ask them this: then why didn't you get the best loan? Why you get a more expensive loan when there's another one cheaper than the one you have? Why would you do that? And then make them answer that question. You know why they got that one? Because that's the only one they could get. That's how it works. So if you hear somebody flipping houses using the FHA mortgage, hey, you better stop listening to them. Stop listening to them. I don't care what they're saying. I don't care how many houses they believe they have. That's a facade. Don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about any of that. Cosmic Wisdom says, my guess is Josh, they use their credit card to buy stuff for the new house, which put the, hey, you know what, Cosmic Wisdom? That's exactly what I was thinking. The way that sounded like a nightmare atom bomb blowing up in somebody's finances, the way that sounded. I was like, whoa, that is, but people can't see that, Cosmic. A lot of people can't see that. Closing costs, insurance, all that. Almost says, caught that show the other day on Velocity Banking. Never seen so many people that do not believe in math. Oh, it's amazing. And all, it must be this way. It must be this way. Hey, Patrick, man, thank you for bringing that up. This is my younger brother, Patrick. He actually put this in my mind today because I was seeing some responses. You know, he posted this on his Facebook page, and I was reading some of these responses. And when you hear people in debt talk, when they try to say things, they don't even know they're mixing up stuff. They believe putting 3.5% down save them money in the long run. They be believing this stuff. People in debt don't even know they're in debt. Don't even know. They don't know that only people in debt accept FHA mortgages. They don't know that. They'd be happy to tell people how much they put down. Oh, I didn't have to put that much money down. Oh, no, this is the big one. Oh man, it was because I didn't have that much money in bad credit. I know that. That's why you have the FHA mortgage, because of exactly what you just said. Your bad credit and no money. The only person in the contract that don't know that is you. When you get if you're thinking about right now, this is what I want you to do. The same thing that I tell everybody to do, right? If you're thinking about getting a house right now and FHA mortgage is on the table right now, this is what I want you to stop and ask your broker, your real estate agent, whoever you want to talk to, and say, hey man, is this the best one on the market? They're going to have to tell you no. And then you say, which one is that? Then they're going to say, it's this one. And then you're going to look at the requirements and you're going to say, oh, wow, okay. And then if you don't meet those requirements, you get up and you walk out the bank because you're not ready for a house. Because again, no mortgage in the world makes anybody a homeowner. So if you logically understand that if I get a mortgage, I'm going to be paying more for the sale price of this house than what it's worth, right? You automatically know that because money's not free. The bank's not going to give you money for free. So you automatically know that. You say, okay, well, if that's the case, if I absolutely have to, guess what? I'm only going to get the one that's going to be the cheapest, that's going to cost me the least, and that's going to be the best mortgage in the United States of America. I don't care what it is. It's one of them out there. There's one that is the absolute best one. That's the one you get. If you cannot get that one, you're not ready for a house. Stop being sheeple. Josh Quick says, you deserve more recognition. Your content is good. Thank you, Josh. It's coming. It's coming. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that part, man. Soak up this info, man, because I want you to become a millionaire. Don't worry about that. We're going to get there. All of us are going to get there. Not just me. You're going to get there. You're going to be walking through this finance game like Neo of the Matrix movie. You know how those bullets come at them slow? When people in debt talk, I already know what they're saying before they finish. It's like slow bullets. Because you know why it's so slow? Because anything they say never makes mathematical sense. I will keep taking them back and say, but is my math right? They will always have to say yes and never figure out. They will never stop and once and think, man, I'm so angry at this dude, but I have to agree with his mathematics. They won't stop and say, wait a minute, why is that? Why do I have to? Oh, what? Yes. You know how many FHA people are going to find this video and be so mad, and when they're going to be mad and angry, and then all you got to do is say, why are you angry? I have no idea why you're angry. Do you believe you got the best loan on the market? No? Then why are you mad? It doesn't make any sense. Because they're in debt. That's a hard pill to swallow. I know it is. I know it is. But when I see these people on Facebook and Instagram talking about their homeowners, math says somebody's lying. If a person pays cash for a home and a person has a mortgage and they're both calling themselves homeowners, math is saying one of these two are lying. The person with the mortgage, he's lying. ATL says, never get an FHA loan. Wait until your credit is better and you have at least 20% to put down. Do a conventional. It's best to save and pay cash for a house. Yes, all the above. There's only two ways to buy a house. The first one is with cash, of course. Number two, whatever the best mortgage in the United States of America is, that's the one you want. If you can't get that one, you're not ready for a house, period. So when you walk up to a realtor, hey, man, I want that house. Yeah, we need to get a mortgage. Yeah. Which one's the best one in the United States of America? That's your only question. Which one is that? I don't care who has it. Whoever has it, go to that bank, whatever. If that's the only bank, go to that bank. Cosmic Wisdom says some tips of the trade. One, put 20% down to be able to afford extra principal payments. Don't use the whole amount the bank offers. If you can't, the 2 points above, use debt wisely. Now, if you just coming in the room, right, and you're hearing this, and your feelings are getting involved, I want you to say like this, the way you feel currently, say like you feel the way you feel, you might be angry right now. 1 + 1 = 2. Will that change because you're angry? At this moment, the way you feel about me right now, does it change 1+1 = 2? If that doesn't change, you got to ask yourself, why are you angry then if it's right? Just doesn't make sense. That's like when people misspell words on Facebook, right? And then you got you call it, look at the spelling police or whatever, right? And they just say, hey, man, you spelled that word wrong. Are they right that the word is wrong? Yeah. Then what are you mad about? I don't get it. They're just telling you how to spell a word correctly. That's it. And you're mad about them trying to tell you to spell a word correctly. That's the same thing with mathematics. I'll be like, is my math right? Yeah. Then why are you mad? I don't get it. That's how I honestly feel. So when you guys talk like that and it doesn't make mathematical sense, I'm not being arrogant. I'm not being like I know it all above everybody. I just don't understand. If my math is right, why are you arguing with it? I was thinking too, if somebody can Google this, I wonder, I don't even know how you would Google it, but Google the percentage of US using FHA mortgages, right? I wonder what that percentage is. I wonder what that percentage is. Cosmic Wisdom says, what do these mad people say? It's like, listen to the velocity banking video with Denzel and go to Billy. All right. You guys can scroll through. He came in on the channel, right? And go to Billy. I want you to listen how angry this dude is. Angry. And then there's this one part that I was trying to make sure he said this on the air, that my math is correct. I want you to hear how resilient his voice is in answering this simple question: is my math right? And it was. I just wanted him to say it, right? But he was still reluctant to saying it, right? But you got to ask yourself why. If the math is right, why are you reluctant to say what is? I don't get it. From Google, more than 46% of first-time home buyers. Ooh. Insured mortgage to help fund. Oh my goodness. 46% of first-time home buyers. So that doesn't even include, so it's really higher than that, because that doesn't even include the non-first time home buyers with FHA mortgages. So it's higher than that. And when and the definition of first time home buyer, if you haven't had, say like you were one at one time, you let 3 to 5 years pass, now you qualify as being a first time home buyer. Those numbers, man, I'm telling you, they got that on lock. It's way higher than 46%. I'm starting to add in all this other stuff. It's way higher than that. Way higher than that. I guarantee it's probably more like 80%. How do I know this? There are trillions of dollars in mortgage loan debt. Trillions. That's how I know this. Trillions. So if you got into real estate and the majority of people are using FHA mortgages, as a homeowner, you pretty much know you'll always own that home. If I owned a home straight out, my ideal client would be somebody with good credit, good job, student loans that have student loans for like 20 years, student loans that are older than their children, because I'll know for 100%, and an FHA mortgage, right? Get an FHA mortgage, I would pretty much know 100% if they haven't paid off their student loans in 20 years, they're definitely not paying a house off in 30. No, they're not. I would own that home until I was dead, and they would pay for it. FHA mortgages welcome. Woo! That is money in the bank. That's like printing money. And people in debt, they do this. They get into these communities, so they be having their high mortgage. They be having PMI in the beginning, PMI through the life of the loan, then the HOAs, and then the other insurance that they have to cover that. Oh my goodness, it is endless. Woo! Jared said, I had to distance myself from friends who are in debt with mortgages. I'm in an apartment with 70K in savings with no debt, working 2 jobs while they still have student loans. Yep. You separating yourself far, man, from them financially, and they don't even know it. Don't even know it. Every time I think about this, you guys, man, had I known this information when I was in my 20s and 30s, I just know who not to listen to now. You know, when you're caught up in it, you just hear this. You hear these people in debt. Oh, don't throw away your money on rent. And if you need to own, don't make your landlord rich. All is debt talk. People in debt talk like that. But when you're in debt, you don't know that. You don't know they're talking you don't know they're talking debt. It doesn't matter. Do you got the money for the house? No. Then what are you talking about? You ain't got no choice but to rent. You're broke. You're under zero. And I want you to pay attention to this. I want you to listen to how people in debt speak. They go like this. Here's another one that I just recently picked up on. And because I was watching videos last night, and I was watching videos about people that are $70,000 in student loan debt, right? But during each video, you know what they say on the camera? Oh, I am absolutely worth zero. I am broke. I have no money. My net worth is zero. And then I'm thinking, no, it's not. Your net worth is negative 70,000. Having a net worth of zero is a good thing. That's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. But I want you to pay attention to people who say that. Oh man, I'm broke, man. My net worth is zero. Oh, no, this is how they say it. I'm in so much debt, man. You know, if you ask somebody in debt, hey man, how much is your net worth? They'll say something like this. Oh man, yeah, I'm in so much debt. My net worth is zero. No, it's not. It's not zero. It's whatever you're in debt of, you know. And if you don't even know that number, good luck with that. But you are definitely not at zero for sure, guaranteed. Because those two you can't say I'm deep in debt and my net worth is zero. No, that doesn't make any sense. But people in debt don't know they're saying those things. ATL says most of the people in the U.S. are upside down on their mortgages, and once the recession comes, it will get worse. No, not for Brett. Hey, recessions are like Christmas time for people with money. That's Christmas. That's when you pick up the most real estate during a recession. When you have money. Oh, yeah, that's when you get 3 houses for the price of one. Why don't you just wait for 10 years? You can see when it's coming. I can see when the recession is coming. It's coming. And when you have money, you just wait. It's not a big deal, but you know it's coming. It's like a recycle that has to happen. Sharif Barkley said FHA loans are a scam. People put too much trust in the banks. That's not you know what, Sharif? Is it legal? Are FHA loans legal? Then it's not a scam. So you can't really, it's not a scam. They wouldn't trick me. If I went to get a house and they say, hey, Mr. Young, we're going to offer you this FHA mortgage, I would say, no, thank you. I don't want that. Then I would just leave. So they wouldn't scam me because I know it's not a scam. It's legal. Jared says, friends tell me I'm throwing money away on renting. I know they do. And this is what you say. Anybody ask you that, Jared, you go, hey, do you know how much debt you're in? I guarantee you they're going to tell you no. If they say no, don't listen to them. It doesn't matter what they say. Oh, you're throwing when they say, hey, you're throwing your money away on rent. You say, how much debt are you in? They're going to say, I don't know. And then you stop listening to them. They don't even know how much debt they're in. They're telling you you're throwing away money when they don't even have any money at all. And they don't even know it. You better stop listening to them. Josh says, my brother told me a story about one of his friends being clubs all the time, popping bottles, and now he can't even build up his credit. That's how America works. That's how it works. And believe it or not, listen, Josh, believe it or not, we need his friends like that. We need people like that. That pop bottles with money they don't even have. That's important. The economy runs on debt. We need millions of people believing that they're homeowners with mortgages. We need people to believe that credit, they can't get anything without credit. They're nobody with it. We need people in the debt matrix to believe that they're nobody without credit, without a high credit score. They're nobody if they can't get credit. They're nobody if they don't have the basic platinum, gold, sparkly diamond credit card with the unlimited whatever. They're nobody if they don't have it. Those people are a must. We need those people to believe that. It's pretty obvious to me. Trillions in mortgage loan debt, trillions in car loan debt, trillions in credit card debt. Doesn't that really? That's like self-explanatory to me. It's like, wow, okay, that's millions of people. I better do the opposite. If I ever want to be rich, I better do the exact opposite of all that. Thank you, Snuggles. Cosmic Wisdom says, I'm so ready for the recession, LJ. But LJ, there are deals to be had now. Are are you prepared now? Are you prepared? Oh no, I'm nowhere near buying any type of property or real estate. I'm nowhere near that. No, I'm still trying to build this. This is my key. This is my thing. All that stuff will come later. This has got to be right here. Because now that I'm out of the debt matrix, I understand how a job locked me into time, right? The man-made concept of time. Having a job locked me into man-made time. Now I got to know when it's Wednesday. No matter if I'm home and in the office, I have to know what Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the weekend. I have to be there for 8 hours, or I got to do an hour or 2 hours. It doesn't matter. But I was locked into a time. Once I got out of that, and how I knew I was locked out of, I was out of the man-made time concept is when I kept forgetting what day it was. Hey, what was it? Monday, Tuesday? And then I really didn't care about weekends. I didn't matter if it was Friday or Saturday and Sunday, Friday night, because those are the things that I loved when I was working. But now that I'm not working and not doing something I don't enjoy, I don't really care about what time it is, right? So I've lost my toe. What was I answering? Okay, I was saying what to you? Man, I was totally gone. Lost my train of thought. Sorry. Loan owner, not homeowner. So true. Cosmic Wisdom says a home that you live in is a liability. You don't get a check for owning it. So why not rent and set yourself up to easily afford a home down the road? Yeah. That's what I'm still debating if I'm ever gonna even own a home, but the likelihood of what I would do right now at age 50, if I wanted a home, I would buy it, put it under a business LLC or whatever, right? Make sure it's a rental classified to the IRS as a rental, and then I would rent from myself. I would rent from my business, though I own my business, right? That way I can get some tax advantages in that whole situation, and I could probably have that house paid off in 7 years, right? So I would rent from myself, so say I did that, right? And you tell people in the debt matrix, hey, you own that house, Linnell? Well, legally, no. So I say, no, I'm renting, right? And they'll say, oh, he's renting, but they don't know I would be renting from myself, but nor would I explain that to them, right? You can't explain stuff like that to people in debt. They will never understand that. Why would you do such a thing? Never mind. R Carp says, what's up, LJ? I'm just coming. Hey, what's up? Gabriel says, do you ever see yourself working a regular job? Good question, Gabriel. Put it this way. If I have to, yes. But now that I'm not locked into time anymore, right? to go back to a regular job would feel like prison to me, like a caged animal. Because now that I know time is like right now, I own my time. So my time is what I say it's worth, right? I say my time is worth X. But when I get a job, I'm agreeing to the job to say, no, now your time is worth this. But once you know the time in your life is unlimited and you go back to work, this is what's going to make it feel like prison, because you know you have to settle for this particular moment or this particular time. Because you know it's going to be worth whatever they're paying you, 6 figures, 7 figures, whatever they're paying you, and you know it's unlimited. This is going to be a very tough pill to swallow for me. To have to get up and deal with traffic, going to a place I don't even want to go to, staying there for 8 hours, and then get back into traffic, leaving a place I never wanted to come to in the first place. Then I have to be at work. This is what I'm picturing if I had to do that. Then I have to be at work and hear people talk dead all freaking day. Why they can't do this. Talking when they get second mortgages. Complaining about their work day. People in debt don't even know they be saying this stuff. And then you watch managers and bosses just disrespect them because they're in debt. See, if I had to go back to that work, I wouldn't allow any of that. None of that would happen ever. See, I wouldn't fit in. I wouldn't fit in because I wouldn't allow bosses or managers to ever talk to me like that. I'd be like, hey, who are you talking to? This is business. Keep your feelings at home. It would be tough, Gabriel. Let's put it that way. It would be tough because I'm even imagining right now. I'm imagining it, man. That would be just horrible. That's the downside I feel now that I have removed time from my life. I removed time because now I understand time as a tool. It's not a need. It was only a need when I was in debt because I needed a job. Now that I don't need a job, I don't really need time. I just put it on a shelf like a book. And then when I have appointments with somebody, I pull that shelf off and use it. Some meeting somewhere. Maybe I got to fly out somewhere. I got to be at the airport at a particular time. I pull the book off the shelf. Oh, okay. I need to use it for that. Okay. Now I'm done with it because I don't care what time of day. I don't care if it's the weekends. Saturday and Sunday mean absolutely nothing to me. Hump day, Wednesday. Thank God it's Friday. Hating Sundays. That's all debt talk. That's what I would have to hear being back in that world. That alone would drive me crazy because I wouldn't hang around anybody always talking about their debt and, hey, man, you're going to vote for so-and-so. They're going to wipe out student loan debt. Oh, God, just shut up. Best version says, don't look at a job as your job. It's your shovel to get out of debt and build wealth. There has to be a way for the universe to supply you with money until other doors open up for us. Yeah, perfectly said, best version. Thank you for saying that. That is well said. That's why I told Gabriel, I said, if I have to go back to work, I have to. Because that's exactly right. In order for the doors to open up, there got to be a way to provide me money. So I have to physically go do something. It just ain't going to magically appear. Because I don't know. If I was forced to go back to a job, maybe that's the part of the universe saying, okay, there's another step over here that you need to see or do something. I might meet somebody there, show somebody something. You just never know what's going to happen. There's a reason for it. So I don't say, oh, man, God, I have to go back to work. Yeah, I'm not going to like it. Right. But if I have to, I got to get money. So that's the only way I can get money. But I just think in my mind, oh, that's okay. That's just part of the plan. Cosmic Wisdom says, that's how I look at it best I'm turning my W-2 check into business passive income. Sure is. Now, Cosmic Wisdom, I'm just saying to you, you know how you're at certain different levels, right? I'm telling you this that once you remove time from your life, like when you own your complete time of your life, there's going to be a shift. And how you're going to know it's a shift, you're going to start forgetting the days of the week. You're going to forget it, what time of the day it is. You're going to really not care about Saturdays and Sundays. Not that you see if you care about it now. I'm just going to say you're not going to think about it like that anymore, right? That's when you're going to know. But if you have heavy debt, you can't use the shovel. Nope. Best version says something has to be your channel for the universe to get you the money supply that you need and desire. Yep, something has to be the channel. Correct. Jared says, you ever notice people in debt travel more than people not in debt? I know people who live paycheck to paycheck who book a flight every 2 to 3 months. Yeah, talking about they need to get away and stuff. Oh yeah, I see that all the time. But you got to remember that when people in debt see that on social media, they start to feel bad thinking they're the only ones that can't really afford to do that. But they don't really know that the people they're watching are doing that on credit and credit cards and loans and refinancing houses. People refinance houses and go buy cars. It doesn't even make any sense. It's like the people in the debt matrix will refinance their house and pay off a car, right? And then they got the title and they really believe they paid off the car. It's just the craziest nonsense. They really, since they can physically hold the title to the car, they paid off the car, not even using any money of their own. And they believe they paid off a car. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know how the banks did that. That is just magnificent. That is just mind blowing when I think about that. They think they're going to take money. They think they're going to take money from the bank's house and pay off the bank's cars with their own money. And then they say they now paid off the car and they own it. That is just mind blowing to me. Gabriel says, don't worry, LJ. That won't happen. LJ, you're going to be big. Trust me. You know, Gabriel, and like I said, like Best Version says, check it out. I know it's going to be big. Just see, and I want you to understand something. Even if I'm saying I had to go back to work, okay, let me better make that clear. I'm going to make it more clear. Even if I had to go back to work, this doesn't stop. There is something that I need to do here that's going to bring me there. I'm already in my mind. I'm already there. Okay. This is just the way I think. In my mind, I'm already where I'm supposed to be, whatever it's going to happen, right? Already there. It's just, I don't know how to get there. So I have to listen to the universe. The universe says, hey, I need you to get a job here. And then I'm gonna put you here. And then you're going to meet this person and You know, I no longer question why because there's a lot of things that got me here right now that I did not like. There's a lot of things that got me here today that I didn't like, but now that I'm here, I'm like, oh, that's why I had to. Oh, that's why that happened. Oh, that's why that happened. So this is the same thing. So now I just trusted more, because if you would have came to me 10 years ago and said, hey, you know what you're going to do? You're going to quit your job and you're not going to have a job for 4 years. I would have thought you were nuts. Like, what? No job? And I'm going to live where with no job for 4 years without income? None, zero, no, none. Yeah. And you're going to make it too. And you're going to fly back and forth you're going to meet a girl across the United States, and you're going to be going back and forth so many times that you're going to think you just live across the street, because you're going to be able to do it anytime you want without a job. I would have been like, what? Do you know how much airline tickets are? I would have to be rich to do that. That's all debt talk. And now I did it, and I'm here, and it's happened with no job. Those of you that follow me on Facebook, you saw it. Flying back and forth across the United States like it was across the street. Stay a month there, stay a month here. She comes up a month, I go down a month. I stay 2 months, she comes up for 2 weeks for the weekend. And then we did all that. And no, I'm not rich. Discord server, thank you, sir. Hyphy, much appreciated. Please don't forget to join this server. We have 2 SMD family members that have purchased time, 45-minute time with me, basic debt talk, anything you want to talk about your personal finances. They have donated the time to give to some lucky SMD family member on the Discord server. So I encourage you guys to join this so we can do this raffle, because we want to give this time away for free. This is like giving back because of what I've done for them, what this SMD family has done for everybody to help them along their finances. They're giving back. So this is to give brand new SMD family members on the Discord server. All right. So check it out. You can do it online. You can do it through an app. Do that. And so we can get this raffle going. Okay. King of Kings, what's going on? Cosmic Wisdom says, I forget days of the week now. I didn't know today was Saturday. Well, it's going to get worse. Okay. Hyphy says, I couldn't imagine taking a vacation knowing I couldn't afford it. So I had to finance it, or dreading all the work and overtime I had to complete once returning from vacation. I know, right? Right? It just, when you're out of the debt matrix, it makes absolutely no sense. It's like when you hear about people getting married, right? Somebody will be deep in debt, and then one of their friends will be getting married in Hawaii, and then they say, hey, man, I want you to be part of the wedding. And this person has no money. Instead of saying, no, I can't come to your wedding, I have no money to, hey, man, you can't make it? No, I'm broke. I don't have no money. I can't do it. Oh, man, you can borrow. No, I can't borrow it. I have no money. I don't borrow money, and I have no money. So, no. They'll say, okay, cool. This is a once in a lifetime thing. This is my friend. And then they'll break out the credit card and get into further debt, going to something that they couldn't afford in the first place. That's feelings. That's when people's feelings get involved. What's up, Dave Sincere? Welcome. Cosmic says something about paying for your vacation in advance makes it even more enjoyable. Well, yeah, it's got to be cheaper. 1 second, you guys. I got to get some more water. What you just said applies to so many people that don't have it but charge it. Yeah, it applies to a lot of people. They go in debt because of their feelings. Feelings, money, and feelings, you just never mix them ever under any circumstances. I mean, there are extreme circumstances. Don't get me wrong. Okay, they got to be extreme. I just don't almost cut off my finger, and I don't have the money to the whatever, the deductible. I use this credit card because I need my finger fixed. Okay, that's different, right? But not an emergency vacation, emergency. You people in debt, and including myself. I used to say this. This is what I used to say out loud. I have credit cards for emergencies. Everybody in my circle said the same thing. Oh yeah, man, we keep a credit card for just an emergency, just in case, something happened, this might happen, that might happen. They think of everything that could possibly happen, but 9 times out of 10 will never happen, right? But this is what they're taught, right? Instead of stopping and say, wait a minute, how come I don't have my own money for emergencies? Why is that? How come I don't have my own money because you're in debt? Dave Sincere says almost every one of my friends are in massive debt. Oh man, hey, Dave Sincere, trillions in mortgage loan debt, trillions in car loan debt, trillions in credit card debt. Oh yeah, it's a lot of people. Those are millions of people, millions. All you gotta do is look at the numbers. I'm not part of any of that. Trillions in mortgage debt, it has nothing to do with me. Trillions in credit card debt, another one. Trillions in car loan debt have nothing to do with me. Wow, that's a lot of money. It's going up every year. It is. The average car payment is $550. Says who? You? Oh, they're not talking to me. The average student loan debt is $30,000. Says who? You? That has nothing to do with me. And I'm telling you guys, let me tell you something. I keep saying that. I'm going to tell you something. If you're in debt and you don't know how much debt you're in, you're like you don't count. And when I say you don't count, you don't really count. There's two economies, right? There's one you can see, and there's one you can't see. This one you can't see it. So of course you don't count, right? You count in the one you do see, because that economy runs on debt. So you count very much. So if you believe If you're a person fighting over buying versus leasing, you guys are just fighting over whose master is better, because the bank owns both cars. Whether you buy or lease, the bank still owns them. So the only thing you're doing are slaves fighting over who's the best master, right? Or if you're fighting over percentage rates of borrowing money, right? You need to borrow money, but you guys are going back and forth. You're just fighting over, hey, my master is giving me 5% on his money. Oh, well, my master is giving me 10% on the money. It's just, you're just fighting over who the master is, right? People in debt, they don't know that. Life for Business says, creating 5 bank accounts helped me manage my finances and get me out of debt. I'd be interested in what you mean by that. I'm not quite sure. I'm assuming that you're breaking them up versus business accounts, personal accounts. I'm assuming that's what you're saying. Dave Sincere says, I used to work in the auto finance industry years ago. There was a report that said 50% of Americans can't afford their car payments. I'm sure it's more. It's way more than that. And you got to remember that statement. Okay, when I read that statement, this is what I see now. It says, now listen, I'm going to dissect it, okay? Years ago, there was a report that said 56% of Americans can't afford their car payments. Of course they can't, because that's why they financed the car. They couldn't even afford the car. That's why they financed it. That's why they can't afford the payments, because they couldn't afford the car in the first place because they didn't have the money. Those kind of statements, they're like, statements like, not you saying that you did, Dave Sincere. I'm just saying, because those are standard statements out on Google. You can just Google this stuff like that. But statements like that are like, they're insulting. It's like, what do you mean? Of course they can't afford the payment. They couldn't even afford the car. What are you talking about? But a person in debt, that I know they can't see that. They would immediately think they're part of the 56% because they finance cars, right? So I finance cars, so cool, right? And they wouldn't even see what that statement really says. Of course you can. You couldn't even afford the car. That's why you financed it. It's just the most common thing, something I couldn't see. But it's embarrassing. As smart as I am, thinking about all the cars I financed, not one person told me no, I take that back. My grandfather told me that. My grandfather is the only one that told me don't finance cars. Out of all the years I've been living on earth before I woke up, my grandfather was the only one to tell me not finance cars, not to finance it. I still didn't get it. Oh, why are you tripping, Grandpa? I can afford the payment. Oh, yeah, you don't even hear me, son. When I said that, he just stopped talking to me. Now I understand. You just got to stop talking to people in debt because it makes no sense. I was like, oh, Grandpa, I can afford the payment. He just said, oh, baby. And didn't say another word. And then I walked away. I was like, I don't know why my grandfather's tripping. I can afford the payment. Just debt talk, just talking debt. Out of 18 to age 40, nobody told me nothing. That financing a car is one of the worst things on earth to do. Financing a car is one of the worst things on earth to do, yet millions are doing it every single day, every day, and telling all their friends they got a deal when nobody on earth gets a finance car on sale. When somebody comes to you and say, hey man, I got a deal on that car, man. They gave me 5.6% or 1.9%. You say, hey man, nobody gets a finance car on sale. You didn't get it on sale. Why are you saying that? You didn't. You financed it. Nobody gets a finance car on sale. That's mathematically impossible. Mathematically impossible. Especially when you're financing the taxes too. If you didn't have the money for the car, guess what? You didn't have the money for the taxes. So you're financing the taxes too, spread over 72 months, and you believe you got it on sale? And the majority of people in debt believe a car goes down in value the minute they drive it off the lot. No, it goes down in value the minute you crack your lips to say, I want to finance a car. That's when it goes down in value. Hell, when you even stepping on a car lot to finance a car. The reason why you're on the car lot because you have no money. Because if you had some money, you wouldn't be on the car lot. Why would I buy a car for full price when I can get it for half the price from somebody in debt? I would never do that. Life for businesses, creating several accounts for specific purposes. Okay, that's what I figured. Even an account that was specifically used to pay off debt would take a large percentage out of my check and it would pay for whatever debt I had. Okay, cool. That's cool. That was smart. Very smart. I kind of figured that when you said that, though. Sharif says, using debt to go on vacation is crazy, but people do it all the time. But because people work hard to pay their debt, they need to get away and will take out debt to go on vacation. The cycle continues. It's endless. Oh, man, I've been working hard, man. I deserve it. And then when they get a raise, guess what they do? They go and get something they feel that they deserve. They go get a bigger house, bigger car, and just to show the world that they deserve something, right? They don't know they're burying themselves even deeper in debt. They go up in their taxes and they get a more expensive car, more expensive house, and then they go up in their tax bracket, burying themselves 3 times than what before they even got the raise. But they don't know that. But again, it must be this way. This has to be. Okay, this is very important that people the majority of the people continue to do that. That's very important. It must not change. Cosmic Wisdom says, I believe that Dave's specialty, if the following state is true, if you have $1,500 after you pay your bills, that puts you in the 90 percentile in the US. Wow. And I really believe he's talking about everything. When I think Dave says that, he's talking about saving when you save money on taxes. You're managing your money right, and you're playing with the taxes right too. So I think that's very true, because that's easy to achieve when you're debt free and you understand taxes better. You really do. Cosmic says to get in the top percentile, you have to have $4,500 after you pay your bills. Wow. Okay. Dave Sincere says USA Today stated there are over 7 million people at least 3 months delinquent on their car payments. Yeah, I did a video on that. Yep. Believe that. Gabriel says, and I'm worried about a $3,000 car, man. I have no idea why you're worried about that, Gabriel, when you can get a $6,000 car for $3,000 from somebody in debt. Because I think you believe in your mind, Gabriel, that since you got $3,000, you're going to get a $3,000 car. You're probably going to get a $5,000 to $6,000 car from somebody in debt that has to sell. Dave Sincere says dealerships make so much money off people. There are 5 primary ways they make money. I'm sure there's probably more than that. They probably got 20 ways to make money. Hyphy says, just last month, my mom auntie encouraged me to finance a car. Wow. Not all of us are fortunate to receive good advice from those close to us. Ooh, man. Yeah. That's going to be the tough part. When you see your loved ones just digging themselves in the hole and giving bad advice, you just got to say, hey, they just don't know. They're in the debt matrix. You got to accept that they're in the debt matrix. They're not saying it. They're not giving you bad advice on purpose. They just don't know that they're giving bad advice. They live in a debt matrix. Dave Sincere says there's a huge profit in ignorance. Yes. Banks, businesses, CC companies, dealerships, they all rely on people's ignorance, and it makes them tons of money. Yeah, it's not. And, I even think the word ignorance is just, I think it's wrong to say ignorant. To just say you just don't trust math. It's less when you call another, hey man, you're just ignorant to the car dealership, the way they do things. That's easily to be taken offense of. Oh, you're saying I'm stupid? No, you say, why they're taking advantage of you? Yeah, because they trust mathematics and you don't. That's why. That's all they're doing. They trust math and you don't. And then that makes them think, wait a minute, what's that mean? You know, it kind of makes people think, well, what's that mean? Instead of just calling them ignorant, hey, you just not trusting math. It's nothing. It's not even complicated. None of this is complicated. Cosmic Wisdom says, I'll share the graph in Discord sites so everyone can see the chart where I got this stat from. Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you guys haven't joined the Discord server, please do so. That's a Hyphy posted that in the comments. So scroll up and find it. Click on that. Love to have you there. And a lot of people asking, you know, it's a great place you guys can come and ask questions. And I'm not just the only one answering questions. It's the whole part of come be part of the SMD family. It's not just me. Okay. Like for businesses, I was horribly in debt. I sure was. I was there too. But you noticed, like, people, like, this is what I imagine with people that get FHA mortgages, right? I imagine they know how much student loan debt they have. They don't even want to look at it, okay? They know, but they know it's a lot. It's probably more money that they've ever made in their life. I get it, right? And then you combine that with credit card debt. Because, like, for example, people in deep student loan debt, they don't really understand that they don't have any money. That's why they don't understand that everything they buy is with borrowed money because they're in debt, according to mathematics. So say like somebody was in $100,000 worth of student loan debt and they made $5,000 at the end of the month. Right at that moment, 5,000 minus 100,000 is negative 95,000. They're still in the negative, even though they have $5,000 cash in the bank. This is before paying all their bills, paying whatever they need to pay, because they already pay taxes before they get this one, right? So they get the 5,000 right there, right? Right at that moment, they're worth negative $95,000. But nope, the majority of people in debt, they don't have just a student loan because they have no money. So they have to borrow all the money they have, credit cards, mortgages. And you think this is why FHA mortgages are so attractive to them, because they don't have any money. So they see this small 3.5% price, all they have to put down. That's what they think, at least. They ignore everything else. And then in the wordings on the internet, hey, this is for people that having trouble or the lower income trying to get out. I get it. I get why they're saying that. Okay, low is me. Okay, bad for you. We're giving you a chance so you can. I get it. Totally get it. It's business. I totally get it. Not mad at them for doing it. Whatever, right? They're just they live their whole lives in negative. Don't even. I did that for the first 18 to age 40 years old. I've been in a negative since 18. Got my first JCPenney's credit card and never looked back. Why did I do that? Because my family told me to do it. Get in debt. You need a credit score. You need this to do that. You don't need none of that to do nothing. Those same people are getting FHA mortgages. Those are those people that believe they're homeowners without any money of their own. Are you crazy? Something wrong with you? Where in America can you just grab something off the shelf and say, hey, this is just mine? I know it's $50, but I'm gonna give you $2 and now it's mine. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. You walk into a store, find some $100 jeans and say, hey man, I want the jeans, but I'm only gonna give you 3.5% of it right now, but I want the jeans. You can't do that anywhere. You think they're gonna do that? No. But people believe, you know why they let you do it with a house? Because you can't take a house. They can just kick you out of it. That's why they do that. It's insured. The house ain't going nowhere. It doesn't matter how mad you get. You can't take the house. And that's like I look at the FHA, this self-engineered, self-sufficient. They stack up, you know, it's got to be trillions in PMI, which pays off the bank. So when they default, they just go into the $1 trillion pot and say, here you go, bank, here's your money back. And they just keep churning them. It never stops. Never stop. They get them nice and young too. Young people really don't know because they're listening to their parents, right? And their parents don't even know, right? So, hey, my mom, dad, they love me. They wouldn't point me wrong financially. They will if they don't know. They will if they don't know, because they're not doing it on purpose. They just don't know. Kids don't know to say, hey, wait a minute. Maybe my mom and dad don't know. They don't know to ask that type of question. But if they say, now they can say, hey, mom, what type of mortgage you got? If they tell you, then you can just Google it and see if that's the best one. Then you'll know if they know. But then kids don't know to say, hey, mom, dad, you still got your student loans? If they say yes, you better not take financial advice from your parents. If you turn to them and say, then what year did you graduate? They're going to tell you back in the 80s. And you're going to be like, and you're still paying on your student loans? Yes, they are. It doesn't make any sense, right? Yes. So don't take your financial advice from them, because that makes no sense. CENTS. Dave Sincere says ignorance is just not knowing. Yeah, but I know the definition, but when you say ignorant to a person, they take offense to it like it's like you just talked about them, right? So that's all I'm saying. Linnell, Life for Business says, Linnell opened my eyes to finance and phones. Yeah. And a few other things as well. Anyone that enlightens me, I gotta follow. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for Life for Business, man. That's what I want. I'm here. I keep saying it. I'm here to create the next generation of millionaires. This is not an age thing. Oh, excuse me. This is not an age thing at all. This is just an enlightening thing. I'm here to create the next generation of millionaires. So once people follow me and they understand, oh man, all I had to do was get to zero. Yeah, that's where you start to count to 1 million. Now you can count to 1 million. See? If you don't know how much debt you're in, you don't even, according to math, you have nowhere to start. Math says you got to start somewhere before you can count to 1 million. Before you can count to any number, math says you got to start somewhere. Now, people in debt, they always start with number one. They always start with one. Hey, man, count to 10. How much money you got? $1,000? Yeah. Can you count to? No, it's $100? Yeah. Can you count to $100? Can you count to 100? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you doing? What happened to zero? Zero's a number, right? People in debt don't even like zero. They don't even start at zero. But you got to start there. The majority of them are under zero. How much debt are you in? I don't know. Well, you're never going to become a millionaire. Sorry. Thank you, Best Version. Follow my man here. You need to follow his page, Best Version Motivation, if you want to know about the universe and how it really works. He's more open about it than I, but I know it's true. That's why I'm here today. That's why when I say things like, hey, man, time is really a tool, most people look at me like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Everybody has, no, time's a tool. That's a man-made concept. Okay, trust me. Stop financing everything. Yeah. And once you have money, you don't even think about financing anything because you got money. You can get it for half the price from people in debt. When you have money, you don't even have to spend it because people are in debt. Hyphy says, I hear you talking about doing anything without working. I'm going to hop on later and share some interesting points. I hear you talking about, okay, gotcha. Doing things without working. I'm going to hop on later and share some interesting points. Okay, cool. Dave Sincere says, you can't take the house and run away. You can't go nowhere. They just recycle that bad boy, and they're coming in every day. They're just churning them people in it. FHA, just like imagine a big old bucket, right? And the people that don't know, they're just coming in, filed in. They're just churning that butter. It's just stacking. That money is just stacking. Banks ain't got nothing to worry about. That's recession proof. That's default proof. They never lose. That it is, man, they're making so much money. That thing is printing money. Sharif says being debt free feels like a superpower. It is a superpower, man. Sure does. You know how powerful it feels to be able to talk on the mic like this and never be wrong, Sharif? How can I get on YouTube Live and say I'm never wrong when it comes to this personal finance game? Yep, I sure can make you rich. How you going to do that? I'm going to teach you how to count to 1 million. Once you know how to count to 1 million, you can count to whatever number you want to. I'm just saying 1 million because it sounds good. Dave Sincere says, man, when I was in college, credit card companies were freely giving out credit cards, and all of us students gladly took them and used the hell out of them. Oh, yes, they get you young. Do I hate the credit card companies for doing that? No, it's not the credit card's responsibility. It's their parents' responsibility. It's your parents. Now, if the parents grew up debt free, they're going to naturally teach their kids to be debt free. So if the kids go to college and then they decide to get a credit card, guess what they're going to say? Damn, my parents told me not to do that. Now look at the debt I'm in. That's what they're going to say. Mom, Dad, you told me, didn't you? We're just going to say, yep, yeah, okay, you did it, I guess. Whatever, take care of it. So nothing's wrong with the credit card companies doing that. I don't care if they send them out in the mail, do get you to sign up for free points, cash back, whatever. It's all part of business. It's just business. They're not doing anything to nobody. I have a credit card. Gabriel says, should I finance a McChicken? I have money but don't want to pay. You can finance anything you want, Gabriel. Finance it for 60 months too. Finance your chicken sandwich for 60 months. Dave Sincere says, I have a coworker who is in their 50s still paying their student loans. I told them I paid mine off 15 years ago. They looked at me like I was a space alien. Yeah. Hold on for 1 second, you guys, okay? All right. Dave Sincere says, my parents didn't know anything about proper finance and credit. My dad knew a little, but I'm educating them now. It's crazy. Yeah. And you can't even, you know what? The debt matrix is powerful. And again, I keep repeating this, okay? It is a must that the majority of people must remain there. They must remain there. It has nothing to do with blood, relatives, love, girlfriend, boyfriend. It has nothing to do with that. Nothing. They don't know. So you got to remember, even if you once people are set in their minds that they're going to get a home via FHA mortgage, it's already set. So even if you showed them this video and they saw it, it's still not going to stop them because they're on their way. So they already believe, hey, it's okay. I know, understand PMI. They told me after 78%, it'll fall off and then I can remove. They just believe all that stuff, whatever. Only people in debt do FHA mortgages. So they're never going to reach that number, that 78%. They're in debt. They have no money to do that. They don't even know they don't have no money to do that. That's why they accept an FHA mortgage in the first place. What they're saying to them is true. Hey, man, if you reach 78%, yeah, we'll take it off, blah, blah, blah. But you'll never get there anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's just an arbitrary number, whatever. What do you think the percentage of people that actually even reach that number? What do you think the percentage of? I guarantee you it's not many. Guaranteed. Especially people refinance their houses several times. Okay. You think they're ever going to reach that? No, they're not. No, they're not. Banks don't even really even let them reach that. You know what they do? Soon as the house gains equity, they start sending out emails and letters. Hey man, you got some equity. You can pull some equity out of your house and pay off your cars and pay off your credit cards and all that stuff. And then the people just refinance. And guess what? They're never going to get to that 78% ever. This is why they accept FHA mortgages. You think they reach out to you to equity because they like you? No, they're going to borrow their money because it's their house. But somehow they make people believe it's their equity. They make people believe the equity in the house is theirs and a house they don't even own. I don't know how the banks do that. I have no idea how they did that. I mean, this has been in centuries, okay? This is centuries in the workings, all right? But I'm saying that's just amazing to me. That's amazing. That is amazing to me. Totally, it's mind-blowing to really think about that. That takes some serious. Somebody was a smart dude. Somebody was smart. A family. I don't know. You guys with FHA mortgages, man, they're just like kicking you when you're down. You don't even know it. Don't even know. And if you're thinking about getting one, you better think about it twice. I don't care where the house is. I don't care if you believe you're getting a great deal. I don't care. You got to ask yourself, how come I can't get the best mortgage on the market? Once you figure that out, you'll be rich for the rest of your life. You'll be rich. If from here on out, if you need to get a loan, if you say, I will only accept the best loan, mortgage, whatever it is on the market, you'll be rich very quickly. Gabriel says that's like 20 cents a month, bro. People who have a car payment need to look at the math. They'll never do that. Gabriel, remember when I told you this is what you sound like? That's how you sound to people in debt. You're going to tell somebody who financed the car to do the math? This is all you got to do if they even did the math. Hey, man, did you look at the contract you signed? 9 times out of 10, no. It's been in the box or stacked up somewhere since the day they got the car. They come home, drive the car, put the paperwork in the shelf, and it's there until it's repossessed or they keep the car for years. It's never moved. It's never looked at. People in finance cars, they don't look at that stuff. A thick stack of paperwork for a car? Mm-mm. Can you imagine somebody, bad credit, no money, student loans older than their children, credit cards up the butt, car payments, and then they get on Facebook talking about they're a homeowner? Are you financially insane? Yes. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Dave Bourne says Dave got co-workers still paying theirs too. Yes. We need slaves. Remember back in the Roman days when they had slaves pushing that thing where they walk around? Remember Conan the Barbarian? He was just pushing that thing. Whoosh. That's how people are right now. It doesn't matter your color. Debt is the colorblind slave master. We need people in debt. And people in student loan debt, they are the ultimate slaves. The only way they'll be able to take off their change, they have to pay. They got to pay to have their change taken off. They have to pay for it. It ain't free. You want your chains free? You want to be free slave? You got to pay for your chains to be removed. You do. Getting an FHA mortgage is not going to free you, slave. You're just a slave in an FHA house that you don't even own. You're just a slave in a nice house. That's it. It's not yours, slave. Student loans is the ultimate. Ooh. Whew. Man, you guys have no idea how frustrating it is to help somebody get out of just to pay off their student loans is frustrating. Just to get to, you guys don't even realize student loan debt is bought and sold on the market like freaking hotcakes. The first time I saw this happen, I didn't really understand what was going on. This is how I figured out that student loans are bought and sold. I was helping somebody. We went to look at his student loan debt, and all of it said was paid off in zero, and it was done. I was like, wait a minute, nobody. I said, man, did you pay off your student loan debt? He's like, no, not even close. It was just gone. I was like, what? It was sold. So what they do is buy the debt from somebody else, and then they call up the person that's already delinquent in their debt. Hey, you want to put it in forbearance for about 6 months? And the person in debt's going to say, hell yeah, I want to do that. Okay, cool. All right. Then they just stack up more interest on you. Woo. I kept my student loans for 10 years. I was a slave for 10. I was a six-figure slave for 10 years of my life. A computer engineer, graduated from college, all that degree, all that six-figure Lexus. But I was a slave, a 10-year slave. Looking good in my clothes. I was just a slave in good clothes, a slave in a high rise, a slave in a Lexus. If you have given up on paying off your student loans and you haven't, if you're in an FHA mortgage right now and you have student loans, oh, this is what I advise you to do. Sell that house, move back in with your parents, and pay off your student loans. That's what I advise you to do. Many won't be able to do that, though. People in debt can't even hear me say, are you crazy? I'm never going to do that. People around me will think I'm broke. That's the problem. Everybody around you that would say it, they're broke too. All you got to do is see if they have an FHA mortgage like you. If they do, they're broke just like you. That's why they have an FHA mortgage. That's why. Gabriel says, when I look at mortgages, you look at it in monopoly style mortgage, and that's horrible. When I look at mortgages, you look at it in monopoly style mortgages. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. You play Monopoly the correct way, like I know you do. It'll be the same way in real life. Born says, I was talking to a girl who just moved into a home for 300,000, making 40,000. I asked her, did she calculate how long she will take to pay it off? She said, no. I just laughed and let her talk. Do you know they have 40 and 50-year mortgages now? They got 30-year mortgages, 40-year mortgages, and 50-year mortgages. Why do you think that is? Because people are broke. As if 30 years wasn't long enough. 50 years? You're broke. You get a 50-year mortgage, you're broke. Cosmic Wisdom says, wow, Dave, I'm scared for that woman and don't even know her. Right. Pushing that wheel of debt. Sure is. We need people in student loan debt, they're pushing that wheel. They're cranking the wheels of the economy, the debt economy, right? The one everybody can see, the majority of people can see. They're fueling that economy. We need those slaves. So if you believe that you're never going to pay off your student loan debt, you'll be in that world forever until you're dead. Thank you. That it must be that way. And when I say thank you, don't be upset about it. You're choosing it. You're choosing to be there. It's the choice to be there. Cosmic says, well, hey, this woman right here ain't playing that. Dave Sincere says, 10-year slave. That's deep. Hell, I've been a slave majority of my life. Yeah. That's because that's what it is. I was a slave for 10 years. 10 years. Didn't even know it. That's the best slave to have. A slave that don't even know they're a slave. That's the best slave to have. I know people think, hey, the only way you're going to get out of student loan debt, listen, the only way you're going to ever get out of student loan debt is by paying it off with your own money. That's the only way out, by paying it off with your own money. If you don't, you're going to be pushing that crank until you're dead. all the way to your deathbed. And then guess what? When you die, it's paid in full by who? Us. Ooh, I tell you. Yep, I heard a 40 or 50 year. That's insane. That sound like financial suicide, Cosmic Wisdom. And I guarantee you this: if they are in place right now, the people that get the 40 and 50-year mortgages, those are the people that get on Facebook talking about their homeowners. Those are the people that do that. Dave said, "Yeah, Dave, she think it okay because she now has a house. She has a daughter and now living 2 hours from her job. 2 hours from her job. Before she was 15 minutes from her job and had a rent stabilized apartment. Oh my God, a rent stabilized apartment too. She believed the other people in debt. Oh, you're throwing away your money on rent. She believed them. Now 2 hours away, now she's going to believe, oh, I got to get a reliable car. So she's probably got a finance car too because she needs something reliable. People in debt, people in debt believe if you pay cash for a car, you're going to get a bucket. It doesn't make any sense. And this is why they think like that, because they could never imagine walking on a lot dropping $40,000 for a brand new car. They could, so they automatically assume if you pay cash for a car, it's going to be a bucket. That's why they think like that, because they're really telling them about themselves. Dave Bourne says she is married, but her husband doesn't make less than her a year. Cosmic Wisdom says most people are broke, men and women, so good luck to her, Dave. Exactly. Gabriel says, no, I thought you had to use velocity banking, LJ. Yeah. Velocity banking. Oh, I tell you, man. I tell you. That's some funny stuff, man. That's some funny stuff. Free 30-minute consultation. If you go to savings-debt.com, scrolling along the bottom, you can click on book consultation and pick your time, and please don't forget to select your time zone. Okay. Yes, 50-year mortgages. She can't drive to work because it costs her too much in gas and tolls. She now takes public transportation. God dang. Going to a place you don't even want to go. Wow. All right, you guys, we got about 15 more minutes and then we're going to get off here. Any questions about FHA mortgages? Let's leave it open to the floor. Any questions about FHA mortgages? Any questions? Gabriel says, Dave, oh my gosh, she's really living in a debt matrix. Yes, she is. Cosmic Wisdom says, check out the graph on the Discord, LJ. When you get a chance, it's mind-blowing, especially when you think about people's debt level. Okay, I will check it out as soon as the stream's over. Any other questions on FHA mortgages? Why you shouldn't do it? Why is it attractive? If an FHA mortgage is attractive to you because it's aimed to you, it's only aimed at people that are in debt. Okay. So if you look at it and say, oh my God, I could save money by only putting 3.5% down, that's because you have no money. That's why it's attractive to you. This is why you believe that you'll be a homeowner with this type of mortgage, because that's what you believe. That's how you feel, right? And remember, feelings have nothing to do with anything. If somebody around you is trying to tell you about, telling you why you should buy instead of rent, You just need to ask them, do you have a mortgage? Or ask them how much they had to put down. Anybody telling you to say, hey, man, you're throwing away your money on rent. This is what I want you to say. Hey, do you have a house? They're going to tell you yes. And you say, hey, how much did you have to put down? If they say 3.5%, no, don't take financial advice for them because you know it's an FHA mortgage. If it's less than 20% of whatever their house cost, they did it wrong. They did it wrong. Okay. Especially if they say that, mention that magic 3.5%, that's an indicator that it's FHA mortgage. Don't do that. Same thing on the business side. If somebody tell you to use FHA mortgages to flip homes, that when they use that term, you know they're doing it wrong. Okay. You ask them, is that the best mortgage on the market? No? Then why are you using it? Why aren't you using the best one to flip houses? Why are you using that one? Okay. There's a reason. They have the money. Stormtrooper says, why are you okay with business debt if it's tied to your personal assets when you then assets then defaulted? Why are you? No, because my business debt will be tied to my LLC business. So it wouldn't be tied to me personally. No, that's the purpose of an LLC. So it's not tied to me directly. So it's not, that's why I'm okay with business debt. Business debt is taxed differently than ordinary income on the personal side. Tax savings, separation from personal to business. And then, but once you understand your personal finances, the same habits that you do over here, you're going to do over here. So if you didn't touch a FHA mortgage on your personal side, once you come to business and somebody offers you a FHA 2K0, 20K3 business, you're going to say it's still an FHA. Why is that? Because it's for people with no money. That's why. So you're going to remember, you're like, oh, wait a minute. If it's bad here, it's got to be bad here. Yes, it's going to be bad here too. So you get the best one. Just like you only get the best mortgage on the market on the personal side, you get the best mortgage offered that's going to allow you to buy homes and flip them, whatever that is. I don't even know what that is, but you ask for the best one that will do all what you're asking to do. That's it. Nothing too complicated. Gabriel says, I'm gonna rent in the future. I can't be stuck in one place, man. Yeah, don't fall for the place. I mean, if you want to buy a house, you're buying it to get rented out. You don't necessarily have to. Don't fall for that. You have to live in a house, right? I personally, I don't really want to see myself locked to a place, but I'm older now, so I think about things differently now. So I do want a place where I can live that I won't have any mortgage or anything on when I get old. I have nothing to pay but taxes, right? And all that'll be taken care of too. So, because you take care of that right now. Finance a house? Yes. I say fine. That's the only exception of my rule in regarding personal finances. I say like this. On your personal side, don't finance anything less than a house. By the time it's time for you to buy a house, you'll know exactly how to finance a house if you're going to finance one. I promise you. If you stay debt free and never finance anything, up short than a house. By the time you get ready for a house and you absolutely feel like you have to finance it, you'll know exactly how to do it. Nobody will be able to fool you. Okay, they won't. Any other questions about FHA mortgages? Any other questions? I put a link in there just in case if somebody want to come in at this last got about 12 minutes left. 12 minutes left. If anybody want to answer a question, want a question answered, yeah, you can jump in now. Maybe you have some more questions on FHA mortgages, maybe something you didn't know. I would happy to answer your questions mathematically. Let's see. Cosmic says it's a mix of things. If it's purely for rental use, you can't use FHA. You have to use a conventional loan with at least 20-25% down terms. Oh yeah, I'm sure there's. I don't know all the rules because I just hear people flipping houses with using FHA 203K, FHA something or whatever, and I hear that a lot. So I just yeah. How do you feel about VA loans? No, Stormtrooper. Listen, man. The only acceptable mortgage that you should ever accept is the best one in the United States of America, whatever that is. It doesn't matter. It's VA mortgages are horrible. Anything less than the best, you don't accept. It's really that simple. If you want a house and the only way you made up in your mind that you're going to finance one, you only accept the best mortgage in the United States of America. So Google it, go find it. It's somewhere. It's out there. Okay, it's out there. I promise you, it's out there. Whatever it is, look, call the biggest banks in your city and say, hey, I'm looking for this particular type of mortgage, and it's got to be the best in the US. And then you go for that one. That's it. Anything less is a no-no. You're not ready for a house. Cosmic says other ways are to use seller financing or hard money loans, 7 to 11% of private money. Yeah, I heard all that. Gabriel says, I feel that nerd in class that everyone hates. He's right on everything when he comes to finance. I know, yeah. Not knowing that you're mad at it's so weird. I remember being in class, you got that one kid that always answered the right questions, and you'd be upset because why? Because he's answering them right? Doesn't Hyphy says, in most instances, you have to personally guarantee business credit with your personal credit, but that is not always the case. But all business debt is tied to your personal finances. Okay. And again, like I said, once you understand your personal finances, those same habits are going to carry however that's tied. I mean, it has to be tied because they have to trust you. If you're first time coming into business, they got to know that you're going to treat their money right. How are they going to determine that? They're going to look at your money and see if your credit report looks right. They're going to say, oh, okay, he manages his own personal finances, right? Okay, we're going to give him a loan because he understands money. So I get it. I get the tie. But at some point, it's going to get bigger and bigger and you can completely sever the two. But you got to start out tied. You got to. Cosmic Wisdom says, so true, Hyphy, which is why you have to manage your personal finances accordingly. Yes, they go hand in hand. I mean, if you guys are new to you guys call me and I create a plan, you finish it to completion. You're going to naturally carry these same habits over to your business finances. It's just naturally the way it will become. You'll be able to navigate through all the fakers in business, people pretending to have money, pretending to be doing it right. I get it. It's very hard to determine those type of people. All you got to do is look at their personal finances and it will tell you. You just listen to them speak about money. You can hear them the way they talk about money. You'll know right away. You'll hear here's an example. Say you know somebody that's making $1 million. Let's just say, let's go extravagant. You know that they're up there high six figures, probably close to $1 million, right? You ask that person, hey man, do you have your student loans? If they tell you yes, they don't have as much money as you think they have. You got to think to yourself, if you're making almost $1 million, why you still have your student loans for 20 years? That doesn't make sense because that means they have no money. That's what that means. How you going to make $1 million and still have student loans? That doesn't make any financial sense. They don't know that. They're in debt. That's why. Hyphy says, VA loans are equivalent to fast food. So easy to get, dressed up to look great, and totally bad for you. Yes, they are. VA loans are horrible. I hate that they do that to our people that go over there and risk their lives. You give them those kind of loans, that's messed up. NC Big says, just in a few months, you have saved me $525 a month in car payments. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy, NC Biggs? That's nuts, huh? Look how you're calculating that now. Now I want you to also calculate something else, NC Biggs. $525 a month is the average car loan in America. Now, each month that goes by, each month that millions of people are in car loan debt at $525 a month, you now are making $525 more dollars per month than the people that are part of that average of $525 a month because you're not paying it. They are. See how that works? So once you get rid of that, then you do your insurance like I told you. You do those other things like I told you. All those things that people are paying, the more like people that are paying $150 a month phone bills, right? I teach you how to do it for 50 bucks, 40 bucks. Now, whatever the difference is between those two numbers, that's the money you make more than the people that continue to pay $150 a month for a phone. That's how it works. And you just keep going. Just keep going. Okay, credit card's gone, student loans gone. Then you're like, all that money, that monthly payment of the average people, you don't pay. That's money in your pocket. Isn't that awesome? That is awesome, Cosmic. That is totally awesome. He said, and see, he still look, check this out. Let me do something for you so you can understand something, so you can understand this. All right. Let's see. Now, NC Biggs, this is what he said because he still has the monthly mentality, right? NC Biggs says, LJ, just in a few months, you have saved me $525 a month in car payments. In actual, so I calculate by the year. NC Biggs he doesn't know I saved him $6,300 a year. $6,300 a year that I just saved NC Biggs, $6,300 a year. And that just doesn't stop. That continues every year because the average amount of people are paying that and it continues to go up. So that continues to save. While they get deeper in debt, you're out of debt. So you have more money. Your money stacks. That's called phantom income. That's how it works. It never stops giving, ever. It never stops. Cosmic says, LJ, I was talking to my mom about why she is so against taking out loans on a car. She said my grandfather never used a loan for car. Oh, never used a loan for cars. Generations pass on to knowledge. All can the same. Yes. It's passed down. It's totally passed down. I was adult when my grandfather told me about that. Even when he said, "Oh, you shouldn't finance car," I was already adult. But had I been a kid and raised up by my grandfather, he would have said, "Hey, no, you're not financing the car." I would have talked about financing my phone. My friends got one. He would have said, "Nope, you're not. You're going to save up and buy yours." And then I would have naturally started asking, "Why is that? They do this," and then he would have showed me why. And then I'm like, "Oh, okay." Oh yeah, you're right. Cosmic wisdom. NC Big's going to pass that knowledge on to his kids and create a new cycle of habits. Sure, it's going to be natural. And again, even in cosmic wisdom, even with the ones that might defy it and say, "Oh, I'm still going to do some credit," then they're going to realize how much debt they're in, and they're going to bounce back to their dad and be like, "Damn, my dad told me that. He told me not to do that. This is why it's happening." Yes, that's why. Gabriel says, if you put in that money in a Roth IRA from age 30 to 70 of $525 a month, you will have over $4 million. Yeah. But you guys need to see phantom income, how it works. Phantom income is amazing. It's amazing. Okay. It's only phantom to those who are in debt. It's better than a Roth IRA. HM says, Linnell, I got my Navient Freedom Papers. I finished paying off my student loan, 22 years payoff, 22 years. Hey, I'm glad you even saying that. Congratulations, $12,404.98 and $7,726.18. I am 58 years old. Congratulations. I don't even care about your age, whatever. As you know now, it doesn't even matter if that you're 58. It doesn't matter. Congratulations. You're one of the millions of people that says, I'm no longer part of that student loan crisis nonsense, so it doesn't even care about your age. Congratulations. Wow. Thank you for telling me the years. Thank you for telling me how much and telling me your age. Congratulations, because that now you can say that easily because it's released. It's no longer part of you anymore. So take that paper, go ahead, and you got the money, go get you a nice frame. Put that paper in that frame and put it on your wall. So when people walk in your house and say, what's that? You say, that's my freedom papers, baby, right there. What is that? Student loans paid off. You guys got this? Any of you guys got this paper? I don't think so, do you? Yeah, yeah, you got to work for this. You can't buy that. You can't buy that. You got to pay it back. You already bought it, but you got to pay it back. NC Big says the reason I didn't say anything in Velocity Banking video was because even though they said it was faster, I was like, I have changed my mentality. I have changed my mentality, not just the debts I'm eliminating. Exactly. Your whole mentality is different. It's totally, you don't argue with things that you can't argue with people that don't make mathematical sense. You just can't. You're going to get mad at yourself because you're like, why are they arguing? I don't know why they're arguing. Why am I arguing with them? That's what you're going to say to yourself. Why am I arguing with them? I don't care if they don't believe math. That doesn't make any sense. Why am I arguing with them? Congrats. I got to put that back up there one more time. Got my Navient Frida papers. You are a shackles off my feet. Not many people get those papers, man. Not many people. Check it out. Not many people will ever see that paper unless they create a fake one. That's about it. But ain't nothing like the real one. Ain't nothing like the real one. Nothing. Because it's always real. You can print out as many as you want. It'll always be real because you don't owe any debt to you don't owe them money. Congratulations. What's up, Mark? Man, it's amazing. Oh, Dave, you ain't lying, man. Dave says it's nothing like that feeling to pay off your student. Ooh, it's nothing like that feeling. Ooh. To see that zero, to see that thing say zero, man. I sent in that last payment. I kept checking every day. I know it's going to take a few days to get there, blah, blah, blah. I was check, refresh. Nope, not yet. The next day, check, refresh. And then when that thing hit zero, you're just like, oh. That's when it just hits you. It's like, there are going to be no more emails, even though they still sent a few after that. They still sent a few after that. Hey, your payment's due. Your payment's due. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. You better check your computer. We're at zero, baby. So get that fixed. But just to know you're not going to get any more emails from Navient or whoever holds your student loans. You don't have to talk about it at barbecues anymore. You don't have to worry about if they're gonna wipe out all student loan debt, because that's never gonna happen, slave. All you slaves that believe student loan debt is gonna. Before I forget this, I want to think about this. I want you guys to tell you about this. They're putting out. This is how they're creating This is how they're creating more slaves. Okay, listen. And it doesn't matter if I say it out loud because they can't hear me anyway, right? This is how they're creating more slaves. Student loan debt is the new slavery. Okay, it's volunteer slaves. So that's why I'm saying it's slavery, right? This is what they're doing. They're putting the hint out that they're going to eliminate student loan debt. Like it's a possibility. Okay, it's a possibility that they're going to eliminate $1.7 trillion. No, they're not, slaves. Only slaves believe that, right? So now these young 18-year-olds going to college, they're maxing it out. They're just saying, hey, man, we might as well go to Princeton. We might as well go here or go there, go out of state college, whatever they're going to do, right? Because they believe student loan debt's going to be wiped out. No, they're creating the new generation of slaves. That's how they're created. You could go show a young person this right now. They won't believe you. They won't believe it. They'll say, hey, man, that's what the politician said. It's a possibility. When all they got to do is look at them. You got to just look at them. You got to say to them, you really believe they're going to erase $1.7 trillion? They're just going to erase it? No, they're not, slave. You're a slave. We got work to do. We got to build this economy. This economy runs on the backs of you. That's never going to happen, slave. So they're creating them right now, especially the younger they are. They don't think about that. Oh, it's free money. Here's the overage. Here's the roundup. And the kids just take it like candy. Oh, I need it to live. This is the way. Hey, my degree is going to pay it off. This is how much I'm going to get anyway. They just believe it all. They just believe it all. The new set of slaves. Here they go, creating them. Don't believe me? Check it out. Just Google. Just say, look how many kids are just maxing out their student loan debt, taking these crazy degrees because they believe it's going to be wiped out. No, you're going to be a slave until you're dead. You're just the next generation. And this is how the cycle goes. They're going to stack up the student loans, and then they're going to start looking how big they are. They're going to be like, oh my God, I'm never going to pay that off because of the job I got. And guess what? They're going to say, oh, well, I might as well get a house now because I'm never, if I wait and pay their student loan off, I'm never going to get a house. And guess what they're going to get? They're going to get into a FHA mortgage. This is how it works. They don't stop and think and say, hey, wait a minute. If I don't believe I'll pay my student loan off if it's $100,000, why in the world would I think I'll pay a house off, a $300,000 house off? Why would I think that? They don't think like that. That's all part of the plan. Yeah, that's all part of the plan. That's those new generation of slaves. People think the Roman days are gone. No, they're not. We got slaves to build houses and roads and stuff. Slaves. If you got student loan debt, you have no choice but to work. You have to work. You have to work. You have no choice. You can't just stop and say, hey, I want to take a year off. You can't, slave. You got student loan debt. You got FHA mortgage. You got all that. Car notes, credit cards. You got to work, slave. Silent Rage says, on my last $3,082.55, student loans counting down, man. See, and this is what I want you guys, SMD family, new people in the room. I want you to understand how you can tell by the people that are really paying off their debt. It's down to the pennies. When you see somebody tell you the exact amount, it's because they're paying, because they understand that every penny counts, down to 55 cents. Yes, it all counts, every single penny. Yes, it does. How do you know this? Because you're in debt. If you're in the negative, every single penny counts. You're in the negative. Can you imagine keeping them? Again, I don't even want to add up the interest that I paid on a 10-year-old student loan. I don't even want to add that up. It's gone. It's paid off. Whatever. It's done. Whatever. I ate it. I had no choice but to eat it. But I have my slave papers. Even as I'm telling you guys this, when I paid off my student loan, that was the last one on my list, on my payoff list, right? You don't really feel it until you get that next check. And when that next check comes, it's not going anywhere. It's just sitting in the bank. This is when it starts to click in. When you get that, when you pay, if student loan debt was your last one, right? When you get that next paycheck and it just sits there, it goes nowhere. There's nothing to pay, nothing. You're like, holy crap. You mean that check can sit there until the next pay period? Yes, it can. You want it to sit there? Let it sit there. And then the next one is going to slap on top of that one. It might be the end of the month. So you pay your rent and your utilities and your light bill and your little phone bill. That's about it. And then the next check just stacks on that one because it's going nowhere. Everything's paid. Think about that. It just stacks and stacks and stacks. Cosmic Wisdom says, well, the government raised the allowable debt to income ratio so people with student loans to qualify. More rope to hang themselves. Exactly. And they think it's a good thing, Cosmic. People in debt think that's a good thing. Oh, the government, this is what the government's really doing. They decided that they're going to take more of your income. They decided that they're going to place you deeper in debt. So they're going to raise it so you can hang yourself. People in debt don't stop and say, wait a minute, why are they raising a line in my own money? Why am I not raising and lowering my own debt to income ratio line? They don't stop to think that. Oh, they must do it. Follow the leader, because you're a slave. Hyphy says, just realized I've taken for granted all my student loan debt being completely paid off. It wasn't until you just said some will never see that paid off in full receipt that I realized how fortunate I am. Exactly. Hyphy, sometimes it just comes to you, There's millions of people will never see that letter. That's why I would frame it. I haven't framed mine. It's in my email. I still have it, but I'm thinking I'm gonna frame it, put it in a very nice frame, and put it on my wall. People come over and say, "What's that? Where'd you graduate from?" I graduated from student loan debt. Look, is that a diploma? You damn right it is. It's a diploma. I graduated from student loan debt. How do you get that? You got to pay it off. You can't bankrupt it. Can't do anything. You got to pay it off, every penny of it. You got to hurry up too, because it's gaining interest. You got to hurry up. You're racing against interest. Mark says, I will see my papers this year no matter what. Hey, Mark, I know you will. I can tell by the way you're saying. I can tell you've been on since day one, Mark. I already know that. I know you've been quiet, but I know you ain't stopped. I love when my clients text me and tell me what they're doing to get out of debt. I love it, man. I love it. Oh man, I'm selling everything. I stopped gym memberships. I canceled this. I canceled Netflix. I'm out of this. I'm out of that. I'm like, oh yeah, they're serious. Okay. That's a person that understands every penny counts. I don't care if Netflix is $20. It counts. Hey man, if I cut this out, I'm only going to save $10. That $10 counts. It counts. Every penny of it counts. How do I know this? You're in debt. It all counts. Silent Ray says, when I realized how much time debt takes from you, not just the money, I was like, never again. I'm getting rid of this chains. Oh yeah. Time is the only thing you can't get more of. That's the only thing on earth. That's the most valuable thing on earth. You can't get more time. But we're selling it because we're in debt. Yes, you are. You're a slave. They're making the new generation of slaves right now. They're making it. And it's so it's amazing how they do it. It's amazing how they do it. They make people believe. A politician comes in, makes them believe that they're going to somehow eliminate student loan debt, which somebody way above them has that power. Not that person does. No, $1.7 trillion. That person doesn't have that kind of power. They're not promising anything. They're just saying they're going to try. And then the younger generation, they just believe it. Hence creating the next generation of slaves. Because they already know, their parents don't know, the generation before them, they don't know. How can they tell? $1.7 trillion in student loan debt. That's how they know. But it's a must. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's evil. I'm not saying it's mean for them doing that. No, it must be that way. It must be that way. It must be that way. There's two economies, one that's visible to most and invisible. That people in student loan debt, they will never know this even exists. It just looks at this one, runs on that one, but we need slaves to run this one. HM says, oh, what a feeling. Oh yeah, it's undescribable. And no, indescribable, right? Indescribable. Yeah, indescribable. Cosmic Wisdom says, oh yeah, NC Big's got a lot of banker friends that got excited in their eyes. They have a whole new customer base. Sharif says, L, do you believe in keeping your money in the bank or investing your money? First of all, money's not really, it's not even real, right? It doesn't really exist. It doesn't really exist. So by you thinking you put money in the bank, you're not putting any money in the bank. It's not staying there, right? So when you start to make more money, you will understand how taxes work. Okay. Once you understand, because if you pay less taxes than the majority, that's money in your pocket. So you know, once you get out of debt, you'll know money's not real. So your main purpose is to pay taxes than less than everybody else in America. That's my goal. My goal when I start making money, my goal will be to invest in whatever I need to do that's going to give me a tax break. That's guaranteed ROI. That's guaranteed ROI. Tax breaks are guaranteed ROI. Okay. So you say, so more money I make, I say, oh, okay, the government says they're trying to invest in this city, da da da. And if you invest $1 million, you'll get 1 million, $2 million tax breaks for the next 10 years or whatever. I say, okay, that's where I'm going because that's guaranteed money. That's guaranteed money. Because if I didn't, I would stay high in my tax bracket, getting taxed very heavy. So I don't want to get taxed heavy. So I just do this. And then once you create your own business, you got to remember, once you create your own business, you create your own prices. You say how much whatever your time is worth. So whatever you deem your time is worth, whatever share amount that you got to pay in taxes, you include that price into your price of your product. That way you legally never pay taxes again because your customers are paying your taxes. That's how it's works. You just don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. That's it. If you don't be greedy, you'll legally never pay taxes again. So you won't even care about really. I mean, you'll look at stock markets as like going to the casino, right? Just to go into Vegas. If you want to play around, and it's easy to play the stock market now because if you know the majority of people are in debt, imagine how many percentage of those people are in debt that are playing in the stock market with money they don't even have. It's really not their money because they have no money. So they're indirectly playing the stock market with the bank's money. They don't even know they're doing it, right? So then you get with the people that have real money, and so you can see, oh, this is how it really works. Yeah, you got to speak the language and have money. That's it. You could live off of just paying. You could live off of without investing in anything outside yourself. You could completely live off of paying taxes less than the majority of everybody in the area you live in the United States, whatever. You just stick with figuring out ways how to pay less taxes than the majority. You can live off that money. That's how it works. That's guaranteed ROI. The only thing that's guaranteed ROI in the United States, taxes. Paying less than the majority is money in your pocket. If you're not debt free, don't even try to understand what I just said because it's mathematically impossible for you to even get it. Cosmic Wisdom says, cool, hyphy, I'm going to run to the gym and do some errands. I'll hop in if you all here later. We probably won't. We're about to sign this off. Can't go too much longer. Joseph Brown says, bang that like button. Much appreciated. Any questions? We're in 2 hours, 16 minutes. We're going to do a maximum of 15 minutes this time. So any questions? Any questions about FHA? Man, that's crazy. How if you make you think about that paying off that student loan, huh? Just think, not many people are ever going to see that piece of paper. Hell, I bet you the majority of people have never seen a car title. You know what I'm saying? That they own, guaranteed. People in debt, for example, people in debt that are stuck in that finance and car cycle every 2-3 years, they will never see a car title. They probably don't even think about it. Hey man, you think you're ever going to see a car title of one of the cars you finance? Nope. They're in debt. They'll never see one. It's crazy. The things that when you're out of the debt matrix, you don't really know. But you think somebody in debt with say like a brand new BMW, you think he will ever see the title to that brand new BMW? That title doesn't even exist. I guarantee you, car titles are not even printed until needed because that would be a total waste of paper. They're all electronic. I guarantee you. No reason to make it paper because the people never own it anyway. They just transfer numbers. Any other questions? Free 30-minute consultation scrolling on the bottom there, savings-debt.com. Click the book now button and select the time that you are ready. And we can also, please don't forget to set your time zone, okay? Any other questions? Share the channel. This is all you got to do to share the channel. Google hashtag savings minus debt. That's all you got to do. Just Google that hash. Just tell them to Google hashtag savings minus debt, and they will find me. I will be the only one that pops up in that search. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at savingsminusdebt@gmail.com. Don't forget to hit that like button. Please don't forget to subscribe. Savings Minus Debt t-shirts at savingsminusdebt.com under products. All right. Sharif says, I think debt causes depression. It sure does. That is very true. But people in debt don't know that. They don't know debt. I mean, they logically know the mounds of debt is causing them frustration, depression, but they don't know that they can get out of it. Most people like that believe debt will just be part of life until they're dead. So, and if you hang around enough people that believe the same thing, they all say, when you're in debt, you hear that old saying that people, hey man, you tell me 5 of your friends, if I meet 5 of your friends, it'll tell me about you. That is true. That is so true. Like when you're in debt, you hear that, you're like, oh, what does that mean? What is that? But when you get out of debt, you're like, oh yeah, that's true. Because if I was in a group of people of 5 other friends complaining about student loan debt, all with FHA mortgages, finance cars, 9 times out of 10, that'll be me too. Saying is because right now I couldn't hang with people like that would be talking about that. Like you can imagine a person with student loan debt, car payments, cell phone financing, cell phones, credit cards, and then they got a house, right? You go over to a barbecue. This is what the conversation is going to go like. Hey man, what you been up to? Oh no, nothing, man. Just working. Yeah, that's all you're going to be doing is working because you're in debt. Oh man, I got my 20-year anniversary. I bet you have. And everybody's like, congratulations. No, you're going to go 30 and 40-year anniversaries too because you're in debt. That's why you're going to go that long. When you're in a debt matrix, that's like a proud thing to say. Hey man, I've been at my job for 30 years. Oh, okay, whatever. If I look at it, like if somebody told me they've been at their job for 30 years and then I looked at their personal credit report, their personal credit report will tell me exactly why they've been at the job for 30 years because they're in debt. If I looked at a person that's been at a job for 30 years and there's nothing on his credit report, he's there because he wants to be there. That's the only difference. Because I'm not saying being at a job for 30, 40 years is a bad thing, but your personal credit report will tell me why you're at the job for 30, 40 years. If you're deep in debt, FHA mortgages, credit cards, collections, student loans, you are there because you have to be there. You better believe that causes depression. Can you imagine being so buried deep in debt? Now you got to work at a place you hate. That causes depression. That's what people in debt don't know what really oh man, this debt causing, now I got to work at this stupid job. And they're saying it out loud. They're saying it to themselves. Oh man, I got to get up and go to this place I hate. My job my boss be treat me like crap. He be talking about anyway, because you're in debt. They only do that to people in debt. If you were in debt, you wouldn't allow that because you wouldn't work at a place you hate. You'd only work at a place that respects you. That's how it works. He says, catch us on the Discord server for a group voice chat today at 2:30. Okay, we're going to get out of here. All right, it's 2:23 right now. So, Pacific time. Okay. Thank you. I saw that PT. So that's, what time is that for me? 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 5:30 my time. Okay. All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get off here. Thank you everyone for participating today. Please share, especially share with somebody that you know is about to get a FHA mortgage. Please share with them quickly before they make a move. They might not change their mind, but it'll be a good advice just to give it to them. So when they get wrapped up in the FHA mortgage, they're going to come back to this video and they're going to be like, damn, LJ told me why not to get in this FHA mortgage. So if that's you, before I sign off, if that's you and you're hell bent on getting an FHA mortgage, Okay, this is what I'm gonna tell you to do. When you get wrapped up in that FHA mortgage, you're gonna start to realize why you shouldn't have got it. I want you to come back to this video, save this, send this link in your email titled LJ Young FHA mortgage video. Okay, and just put it in your email and star it, because you're going to come back to it. And then I want you to rewatch this video so you can hear the things I was saying before you actually got into an FHA mortgage. Okay. So look at me as the future me telling you now that you're going to come back to me, because this video will still be here and it will still be relevant. I promise you. Okay. Hyphy says, when you're out of the debt matrix, you walk into a debt matrix barbecue and everyone expects you to bring all the alcohol and meat. And even though you don't drink alcohol, you're a vegan. Oh, that is so funny, man. Because you have money, Hyphy. That's why you have the money. Hyphy always have money. Instead of turning to him and saying, hey, Hyphy, how is it that you always have money? They just go, oh man, he just always have money. You know, people in debt never ask the right questions. Peace, y'all. No FHA forever. Don't do that ever. That is funny. All right, you guys have a good one. All right, have a wonderful Saturday. I'm out. Bye.